as speaking of Sam Pink, apparently, what happened is there was he's having a drama with a guy who's ready releasing a book through a mainstream press called Fuckboy. Apparently, like the guy wrote to him and basically said that his book was heavily inspired by Sam Pink's work, and it apparently was trying to get like Sam Pink's blessing for it, but I guess he straight up copied a lot of things that Sam Pink did in his book, in his books. So Sam Pink wrote a big thing on Neutral Spaces about the whole drama.
Really?
Apparently, like what most annoyed him is that the book itself apparently isn't very good. The guy apparently is like went to an Ivy League school and is having a book published through a Big Five, and the book is just filled with like rapper slang.
Yeah, it sounds pretty pathetic. It was something. It sounded like something I would hate.
Yeah. See if you can find it. Fuckboy is spelled Fuccboi, and the first name of the guy is Sean, I think.
Let people be who they are. Sam Pink by Leah Schnellbach. No, that's not it. Neutral Spaces, you said.
Yeah. It's he's got an article on there called Fuckboi, which is just fuck, comma, boy.
Okay. This was Sam Pink that wrote this.
Yeah.
Yeah, my interest is piqued. There's actually authors beefing with each other. That so rarely happens.
Well,
most of the time they're all, "How dare you use the quorum, and you must pre-submit all the questions before the interview promptly." It's fucking.
It's I mean, it's even more of a thing because it's Sam Pink, who's
really chill.
Yeah, chill. He's an indie writer who's put out through small presses and shit, and this guy versus this guy who went to Ivy League schools who is getting put out through one of the Big Five.
Okay, well, okay, let's try blog.
I think it might be, right there.
Yeah. Fuck, boy.
It's a pretty long article, so I don't know if we can go through the whole thing.
Maybe cherry pick a passage or two. The guy sold Fuckboy for $200K to this big publisher.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fuckboy is a complete ripoff of my style. This isn't even a debate. To be fair, Sam Pink's style is not hard to rip off. I mean, he may make it seem easier than it is, but to emulate that voice that Sam Pink uses, I mean, it's been done before. It has been emulated before, is what I mean. So, I mean, even in reviews, I've emulated that voice in order to try to bolster my opinion of one of his books. I mean, I don't know. He puts it through a blender, but it's not hard to emulate Sam Pink's style.
Well, the guy apparently emailed him and basically said that's what he was doing.
Hey, dude, I got some good news and bad news. I mean, what? I don't know. The good news is I just got 200,000 for my first novel, but the bad news is that I just completely bit off all your style to get it, and I'm sure, that the money thing probably. I don't think Sam Pink would care if it wasn't the money, right?
I think it's more of the fact that he really, really, really didn't like the book, and he was annoyed that the guy was trying to present himself as like this indie guy when he, like I said, went to Ivy League schools and was being published through a Big Five publisher.
I'm not a dramatic person, and have always focused on work as the sole reason for my involvement in this culture. I say this to preempt the most common response, which is ugh, drama. Yeah, I know, man. Authors are so fucking lame with that. That's why they can't sell books, because they're not willing to engage in drama. Except for the backhanded shade throwing from behind community lines. Or even better, people commenting on how they don't care, thus involving themselves in it, which is fine. I can't control responses, but I can say, ask yourself if I seem like a person attracted to drama or have a record of it, because I don't. But the writing world is a very passive place, too passive, which is why it leads to so many problems for people. The things that need to be said go unsaid, and everyone just moves along. That is so fucking true. Waiting in line for their turn, hoping not to jeopardize their turn. They hold everything in and vibrate with miserable energy. I love that line. That is so true. All of y'all are so miserable. Unable to just rid them, not you guys, but I mean, unable to just rid themselves of it normally. Why don't writers use catharsis like this more? This is not necessarily drama. This could be catharsis to me. This is also an element of the indie world people forget. It's self-regulating. Yeah. Well, so far I agree with everything you said, which is why I'm writing this. Now my entire work stolen from me in the form of Sean Conroe's forthcoming book, Fuccboi, which he sold for $200,000. Now, if he hates this book so much, yet it reminds him of him, I don't know. I mean, just that's one thing to think about. I mean,
there's a passage. Do a Control F for cancel, and you can probably find a passage from it.
Control F cancel?
Yeah. You don't know that Control F? That's how you find stuff.
Where's cancel? Where's the cancel button?
No, type cancel in the search.
How do I do that when I've got two fingers over here?
No, you just press it Control F once.
Oh, right there.
Control plus F and then type cancel in the box that appears.
Yeah, that's a passage from it right there in the
I know you have your ideas about me, and maybe they're correct. Maybe I am a sus hetero bro who's been subtly abusive and deserves to be canceled for my basic ways. That is such a simp line. I know. I've read enough Sampink to know that he would never write something like that, right?
Yeah, that's why Sampink hates the book. He writes shit like that.
Cool. Okay. Well,
yeah,
now
that's just like, it's like one of those things where like big five publishers will publish, urban slang like 18 years after it was actually relevant. I mean, that's kind of what
he talks about. That exact same thing in here about like you picture some white woman, thinking it's the hot new thing to have like this kind of slang in a book when it's like 10 years out of date.
Yeah,
I'm loving this article. I mean, this is like filling time so well, and it's something I can finally sink my teeth into instead of just, hey, buy this book.
Yeah.
I wish more of you fuckers out there would resort to this. Sling some mud in somebody's direction and then come on here, and sort it out. I'm telling you, I've seen it done in way less effective communities. But anyway, I digress. Yeah. Damn, dog, that's some shit. There are numerous lines like this in the book, some weird blend of sitcom language with online slang bullshit.
Yeah, soy bants.
He is so right. Or, this time it'll be different, right? When talking to Bay, is it Bay?
Bay.
Bite Flip, R. Kelly starts playing in the background. But I can't understand how this isn't obvious. The fake slang from an Ivy League kid. Is he Ivy League? Is that confirmed?
Yeah, I've been saying that.
Okay, so he laid in a coffin and masturbated for a bunch of Republicans. That's how he got it published.
Apparently. He does throw some shade. Sampink does throw some shade at Gian of Tyrant here as well.
Now, who is that? Tyrant Books?
You don't know about Tyrant Books? They published Scott McClanahan and
but
Murray Calloway.
I don't know who Gian.
Oh, he was the guy who ran it before he passed away. I think he passed away earlier this year.
Oh, man. But by the way, Scott McClanahan is the funniest guest I have ever had. He made it all seem so effortless, and he made me just throw all my notes away. He was so funny. I've never met such a funny human being. I don't know how he did it, but
yeah, he seems like a great guy.
Yeah, this form of masculinity, where you're basically a neurotic wimp, is the favored kind of big publishers and culture in general now. I love that.
Well, he's not wrong.
Sampink is based.
Oh, he's always been based as fuck.
That's awesome. Finally, there's one that's not a simp for this cancel culture, namby-pamby, patriarchy, all this bullshit. There's this idea that being actually masculine means you're some monster. He is so right. And I'm not saying I'm masculine, but I'm just saying to
I'm not saying that either.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying that.
But to say that masculinity is toxic, is another form of bullshit. Damn, this guy is hitting every ball out of the park. But the opposite is true. Weasley simps like Conroe are always a bigger danger. The actual rapists. In fact, he mentions rape a few times in the book, but nah, I'm just playing. I love this article, man. The book is just not readable. There's nothing to it. It's a mix-up of so many ideas. This is the most Sampink's ever said about anything, even in his own book.
Yeah, it looks like it's longer than some of his books.
Including the recently popular thing of doing, like, little book reports in the book. Damn, yo. I was reading some shit about hunter-gatherers, and, man, that shit cray. This is merit to the book.
I want to put a gun in my mouth.
Book that he's talking about, that quote you're talking about there?
I think so. Obviously, we can't check it. It's not out yet, but the guy sent Sampink an early draft.
Who's he talking about?
No, I'm saying is that line about that so cray or whatever. I was wondering if that was actually in the book. So
no, it's an It's an alliteration. It's an example of what people say. It's done. It's been done long enough that you can generalize and people will get it.
Okay, I thought he was actually quoting the book.
No. That's the kind of thing like, science bros, like the people who would listen to a Neil deGrasse Tyson podcast and think that suddenly they're as smart as him, and write it into their...
I mean, I'm fine with people talking about, what books they read, in a book they're writing, but it's just like, oh, hunter-gatherer is so cray. What the fuck? You put a gun in your mouth, goddammit.
Yeah.
That is the first time I ever used the word cray for anything.
Has anyone ever said cray unironically?
I don't even call crustaceans cray. Okay? I mean, culture. God forbid I just enjoy an author's energy and have my own thoughts. I got to get the podcast condensation of it. Ouch. This Wikipedia level analysis adding substance, the dreaded tidbit. Well, I mean, Wikipedia is the first thing that pops up in most search results, to be fair. So, I mean, but a book I wrote, Ron Tell, which is one of my more, preferred of his, is one of the books he quotes. He quotes a few lines and analyzes them, giving me a clear window into his bogus thinking. So he takes time out from the book to talk about Ron Tell.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like Ron Tell. I thought that was good.
I haven't read that one yet.
No, it's good.
I'm one of those. Yeah, I know. It's really funny when it's like he turns a chapter into like riffing on a guy going in to buy soap and finding it on half sale, a discounted sale, and he's texting his net room at home, dude, soap is half off. And he's like, and the guy texts him back, who gives a shit? You remember that? Okay, maybe
no, I don't, but it's been like a decade since I've read it.
That was a really great book, though.
Yes.
I'm one of those whatever it means to you type people, but can say he might have picked the only thing it wasn't about. The thing Ron Tell really is about for him, an idea he incorporated, is the adventure or odyssey. We talked about this on his podcast. These Ivy League kids are sharp as fuck. It's even in the blurb Gian provided for the book. Anyway, shoot was going nowhere with addressing it. So I mentioned to Sean that we should do his podcast again to address. Sampink actually did a podcast, and it's with the dude he hates. Damn.
Well, he's done a few podcasts. I know he was on other people.
Sampink, I don't have $200,000, but
he's got 250.
I'm sure we can. Find a way to get a hold of Sampink and see if he wants to come on at some point.
Say whatever the fuck you want. And, yeah, believe me, I've said much worse. Whatever you say, I've said much, much worse. So it's all good, man. You could just stay for 15 to 30 minutes if you want. Yeah. If you want to put a price tag on it even, I mean, let's talk. If you're out there, I'm sure this will find its way back to you somehow. Fuckboi is sterile. No, wait. I mean, it's like we still got an hour before Regina pops in, so we might as well you know, milk this for all it's worth, right? Just a little bit longer. Anyway, shit was. But then he said he'd do it, but then asked why I would want to tear it all down, because something worthwhile and unique can be torn down by simply exposing it. He started claiming his book would be a good thing for all of us. This kind of language always scares me. It's the evil force behind community too, meaning something required of you. That
he's not wrong there.
Yeah, man.
People will hide some insidious shit behind things like the words community.
I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't good for me to do, but I mean, I don't know I'd ever get on an airplane, 2 or 3 airplanes again for a community of people that I only know through the internet. I don't think I'd ever do that again. Even though I had a good time at the time and it was good for me, I don't think I'd ever do that again. That's asking too much of somebody, you know, unless the convention thing, part of it. Yeah, sure. But I mean, anyway, where was I?
Like, I mean, like the long and short of that is they were going to do a podcast together, and I guess he waited to until the last possible minute to contact sampink about it, where Pink wanted to be able to like get together notes and be able to like talk about it in a prepared manner, but the guy wanted to catch him off guard and do it off the cuff. So, and he basically said, "Oh, I also have to crash at your place since I'm driving across the country." And sampink, of course, has said no.
Oh, ouch! The guy who just got a $200,000 advance or something is going to say, "By the way, can I crash at your place, dude?" And after just getting a book deal that you've never had. And that I OT out, ouch.
It's like a good metaphor for the whole thing, that this rich Ivy League asshole leeching off an indie author who's had to work his whole life.
If that's how this is, that's cringier than anything I've ever done. That is
this way cringier than any shit you've done.
You want the writing that you cannot reasonably change a system by doing exactly what you hate about it. And this is the most classic example in why I'm writing this in the first place. I have no other option. I don't have an agent or major publisher. All I have is my reputation and my work. He responded with this. You want the writing that's bombed down people's throats by big fives to stay being the same sterile garbage. At a time like this when media is fucked, no one is able to say shit, because that's what'll keep happening. Fuckboi is sterile garbage, good sir. It's weak-willed. And yeah, the media is fucked and people can't say shit, so why can't I say shit about it? This is part of his thinking, this weaselly doublespeak. Let me do the shitty thing to prevent the shitty thing. Bro, I don't need anyone's help. I just don't need the stress either. I want to be left alone to do my thing. Fuck the writing community. I can't stress enough how conniving he is with his thinking and planning. The man really is a weasel mastermind in the art of snatching the crumb. All this wild shit that's gone down with my book, none of which I planned or could have predicted, and honestly just feels terrible for me. What a crazy random thing. And if you feel terrible, why go through with it? Well, obviously, it's obvious why I won't. I'm getting tired of quoting the guy that's like the bad guy, but let's see if I can.
He sounds like a real dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're tripping, bro.
Damn, this shit whack, yo.
I said to her, all your early books, Person, Rontel, Witch Piss, are masterpieces and probably the biggest influence on all writing online writing today. This is another attempt at stalling. His editor at Littlebrown and his agent both started following me on social media and even bought books, but these people don't fuck with me. They're about protecting their assets. Paying Sean that kind of money for his first book is a sign they're going to try to pass him off as next wonderkind or whatever. Kind of like how the Melvins and Mudhoney were around, I'm guessing before Kurt Cobain, but Kurt Cobain got poster boy status, right?
Yeah, and to be fair, at least Kurt Cobain was open about the fact that, these other bands like, the Butthole Surfers and the Meat Puppets, came before him.
An accident, a nightmare. Why would you feel horrible about this? I would be happy. But that's his game, trying to make it seem like an accident with him as the victim. You're tripping, bro. How are you going to read 10 pages of a thing and say you created it? That's insane. I couldn't do your voice if I tried. Because my voice isn't yours. Why would I need your blessing? I wanted it. Because respect. Because working within the confines of a style you are the master of. He's asking, who are you inspired by? And I would like to know who Sampink is influenced by, because that is an enigma to me. So
I like this.
I
I
think
like that line where he's like, "Oh, where you had it up there? Something about you need to respect, or why don't you respect me and my grind?"
yeah, where I'm from, what I went through to get where I'm at. So he's now saying I didn't influence him, and that's his choice. I don't need to. Well, yeah, you probably shouldn't quote Sampink if it didn't have some sort of formative.
It's like, oh, what I had to go through. You went to an Ivy League school. You're very likely rich. You very likely grew up with a silver spoon in your mouth. Shut the hell up.
He's probably the roommate of the publisher.
I wouldn't be surprised. Or it's like his dad was the publisher.
He's right. I don't respect him. I don't give two fucks where he's from. You take what's mine and you're going to get smacked. I like it. This is turning into a wrestling promo. That's again, this is all terribly bad. And I know Sampink is from Chicago, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I think he's since moved to Florida, but yeah, that's where he's originally from.
Well, Florida's pretty badass too, yeah. I'm not joking either. Again, this is all terribly bad faith bullshit, as I attempted to confront him about it. I told him we need to do a podcast. Sampink told somebody they needed to do a podcast. I'm jealous. Just for my own sanity and to not just release a review like this unprovoked for honor. He said he was driving across country. There's that. Got that fuckboi check, boy. And we could do it in person in my town. I said, sure, just let me know. He gave me a window of when he thought, and sure enough, that window passed. So on the last day, I texted him to see what was up, and he said, whoa, it must be fate because he's nearby. So he was going to completely ignore it, like he has been, and like his agent has been, and like everyone has been. And all angry at this point, he said he'd be there in 2 hours. I said, no, I told you I needed a heads up to get my notes ready and find a third-party recorder, which is smart. Yeah, obviously somebody who's going to not edit it down later to benefit one or the other, yeah. I don't trust him. He recorded my friend Dope Boy without him knowing when they were first going to do a podcast. Oh, wow. He said the only way he'd agree was doing it in a couple hours with him recording, and he had to crash at my place. Oh
no, I've got $200K. I can't and probably a lot of daddy's money too. I can't possibly pay for an Airbnb or a hotel.
You never hold someone's ass to the fire and say, either if we're not going to do this if you don't let me stay at your place. You humbly ask them. You say, look, you explain the situation. You say, look, dude, look, this is the situation, and this would really help me. You know, I'll help you take out the garbage or whatever, do your dishes, whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, by this point, isn't it already pretty well established that Pink doesn't even like this guy?
No,
well, yeah, but
the guy's not doing anything in good faith to, change his mind,
Well, I'm saying though, like, I mean, it's already been made perfectly clear by Pink to this guy that he doesn't like him, right?
You don't ever tell somebody, look, I'm not even going to talk to you if you don't let me stay at your home.
No, my point is this, right? The guy, I mean, Pink's already made it clear to this guy he doesn't even like the guy, right?
Well, I mean, the guy is, if that's the case, the guy could just say straight up, no, I'm not doing that, but he's not. He's playing this stupid game of like, oh, you have to meet these demands in order for me to do this podcast so we can talk about this publicly. And so he can.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, why would you say I had to stay at your place if I know you don't like me? Right? Like,
because he knew he wouldn't say yes.
Oh, he didn't want to do the podcast in the first place.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay. This guy sounds like a psychic vampire, is what he sounds
like.
Oh, straight up. Bro, this is some straight up gaslighting shit, yo.
Yeah. It's cray. Totally cray.
That's cray, bro.
Cray, man.
Kind of sus, not gonna lie.
I said no because even though he was trying to bluff his way out, and he did, I don't trust him and won't let him call any shots. Why would I trust him to record it? You know what? I just got a light bulb. What if we were the third-party recorder for this?
That if we were, I mean, that would be amazing, but it's probably not the case.
All right, look, I'll what's his name? Fuckboy.
His name's Sean something.
Sean, I'll give you the floor, man. We could hammer this out Judge Judy style. However you want to play it. I mean, somebody can watch me edit it, down to a segment. I wouldn't cut anything out. I swear to God. Okay.
His name is Sean Thor Conroe.
What if we could be the mediators here?
I mean, that would be amazing, but I don't know if
amazing, but it's a dream that would never happen.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna do that. I mean, we can always just bring Sampink on so he can.
I would,
the whole entire publishing industry.
I'm okay with that. but hey, if you can clear it with Littlebrown legal department, that you can come on here, Yeah,
it's Littlebrown because it's his asshole.
Jeez.
There is the potential that we might be able to mediate this. I'm not on anyone's retainer, but
obviously,
I mean, Sampink might talk to us, but I have a lot of doubts that Sean is going to talk to us at all.
What if we did one week and the other the next,
or we could just trick Sean into coming on and ambush him with Sampink coming on.
Don't say that right now on.
I mean, that would be the obvious thing to do, which is why I don't think he would come on anyway.
You ruined it.
I mean, it's the obvious thing to do. It's like a 101.
That's what Tagasaw would have done, man. Oh God, I was thinking of that.
It's what H3 did to Crowder and with Sam Cedar.
Crowder raped his ass, please.
No, Crowder is a fucking.
No.
Yeah, I think we're on the very last line. In fact,
what do I want from all this? Just for you to know, his book will do what it does, and he will continue to be who he is, which he says in Fuckboy is basically a revolving door of various stages and slangs, and the same is true for me. But having felt a bad cloud for the last couple months trying to deal with this, I wanted to air it out. Every moment I kept quiet, felt horrible, and every step I took towards addressing it felt powerful. And again, Sean wouldn't confront it with me. So what does that tell you? I'd also like for this to be a message to people. If you fuck with this kind of behavior, don't fuck with me. I need this kind of stuff to remain special and meaningful, not some horrid social game. Is that us he's talking about, or me?
Nobody's talking about you, Jeremy.
Yeah, no kidding. Get off your.
No, I don't mean it like that, but people who would say, hey, why don't you come on our podcast? That kind of thing.
Well, I mean, I could hope we could bring. Yeah, I could hope we bring him on in good faith, but
because until that changes, the whole thing won't change. It will just be a social club with writing as a consequence and shitty tactics all the way up. So if you fuck with this nonsense, fuck you, and thanks for reading this. Ayo, fuckboy, where you get that style? That was entertaining.
Yeah.
Neil Bimbo is here.
I am an unapologetic fan of Sam Hyde. I don't care.
Neil Bimbo is here. He's been sitting in the waiting room, apparently.
Sam Hyde rules.
I
don't care.
There we fucking go.
I didn't even know. I didn't know.
I've been here for 15 fucking minutes now listening to you jibber jabber.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about Sampink. Somebody in the literary community actually has a beef. It's like my dream come true.
Oh my god, a niche literary beef. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that article. I saw Ben posted it. I skimmed it. I haven't delved into it with any, depth. Why am I seeing two Jeremys on the screen, by the way?
One of them is Gregor, and the one on the on his face is me.
One is the real Jeremy, and one is the illusion that he summons halfway through the boss. I haven't been privy to any of this.
Sampink wrote a book about Fuckboy.
Not a book, an article.
An article about Fuckboy.
Is it a singular fuckboy or
no? Fuckboy is a book that's set to be published through one of the big five, and apparently, it stole a lot of things from Sampink's books.
Yeah, it's lifted. Not plagiarized, but basically style-wise, it's lifted wholesale. Yeah.
Yeah, and he basically sent the manuscript to to Sampink to try to get his blessing with it, and Sampink hated the book.
You know,
That's delightful.
what I love about that is just how real Sampink seems coming out of that. You know, wow. It's like he seems like the type that would say something unpopular, you know, or politically incorrect, and not apologize for it later.
Well, good. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the apologizing is where they get you.
I know. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, like the only other controversy I know that Sampink's been in is where someone complained because he had black people talking in slang in his books. Yeah, that was.
But I remember in either the Self-Esteem Holocaust Comes Home or Hurt Others or something. He emulates that, like, you know, dialect or whatever on the subway train.
Yeah, it's definitely.
And then he talks about how he just wants to run up and hug her, you know, as in, like, he's not making fun of the woman. He just loves that the way that she talks, you know. That's what he means. So
he probably wants to touch her hair.
But yeah, he actually does sort of mention that in the
I've
article.
Had a couple. You can tell.
No, that's okay. So have I. He actually
Always
talks
do
about
before I tune into the quiet place.
Well, when you have to deal with Jeremy.